I'm Nirvan. Stay shooting like I'm Nirvan. Shoot like I'm Nirvan. Yeah.
Actually, all the way back together, or is it like?
It's like a, I don't know. They had their differences. They went their separate ways, and then I was friends with all of them still, but they like hated each other. And I was like,
that's a tough situation.
Yeah, but it was like they were such a big part of like my come up and my like whole experience, like falling further in love with Chicago hip hop and everything. Like
for sure,
Supa and Hurt Everybody played a big part in that. So like it was 2 or 3 years after they had split up, and I remember when they split up, like everyone was fucking like torn about it, like all the fans, because they were going at each other. Like it was an ugly breakup.
Really?
Yeah, it was bad. And I don't know the ins and outs, exact details, but it was bad. And but I was still friends with all of them. I keep in touch with all of them over the years. Like we were all homies still. So I remember one night I had this idea. I was like, I should try to bring Hurt Everybody back together. Yes. So I called Supa like in the middle of the night.
When is this that you decided that?
This is last like a year and a half ago. Yeah, okay, 2 years ago. Okay. 2 years ago, yeah.
I think I remember this show with the poster that was like the reunion shit.
Exactly. So that's why I was like, that's how I positioned it. I was like, yo, you guys do a show. I'll put it together. I don't want any of the money. You guys all break bread. Like, just do it. You guys don't even have to like talk before the show, anything.
Really?
Just come together for one last performance and just do it for the fans. Like, give the fans this closure they need. You know what I mean? So they'd been broken up for like 3 years this time. Because 2018, they broke up in 2015, right?
Right.
Bro, they sold out a 2,000 person venue.
Crazy.
Like, the most insane show ever. And then after that, they rekindled their friendships and everything, and they've been making music. So they're like together, like they still make music, but they're all like doing their own thing.
Yeah,
it's not like what it was, but it's definitely like,
yeah,
you know.
Also, it's just a different time, so life happens and shit.
Yeah, you grow up, like, you know what I mean? Imagine like being best friends with someone and then not seeing them for 2-3 years.
Yeah, I'm in the midst of it right now, like with multiple people from college and shit.
Yeah, and it's like you talk to them, it's like they have completely different lives, you know what I mean? Especially when we're in our fucking early 20s, like this is, you find yourself as a human being, you meet new people, like your life is always fucking changing, so.
Yeah, our brains aren't even fucking done developing.
Exactly, everything.
Yeah, do you find that, like, from when you weren't doing this to when you started and shit, like, your people that you've surrounded yourself with have changed a lot, or it's pretty much the same things?
The actual people, yes, some have changed, and there's also some people that, like, I was with when I was fucking 9 years old that I'm still with, you know?
Facts.
And it's the reason why I'm not with the people that I was best friends with growing up is not because we're no longer compatible as friends. It was just because, like, we went different ways in life, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I moved to Chicago.
Literally location.
Yeah, location, like, just job, like, whatever you're into, like, just life, you know? So, but, like, the overall, like, atmosphere and energy between me and my friends, like, it's the same way as my friends growing up. Like, we have fun together.
Yeah.
We, you know, take care of each other. It's just, like, the same type of thing.
Yeah. Do you find that it's easier to connect with people who are involved in something along the lines of what you're doing? Or because sometimes I find it refreshing to just, like, my friends in Sacramento, for example, they're not involved whatsoever. And when I go back there, it's super, like, just, like, let your hair down type shit. Like, I don't have to worry about anything.
Exactly. That situation is situation. So sometimes you meet someone and it's like, oh, this is great. We can talk about this and, like, kick off a great relationship and friendship because we both know so much and are involved in the same thing. And then sometimes you're like, man, I want to just talk to someone who has no idea about music, film, anything. Let's just hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
get away from it.
Exactly. So sometimes it's great to meet people like that, and then sometimes it's great to just connect with someone as a person and just like talk about other shit.
Yeah. And both can motivate you in different ways, I find.
Absolutely. Like going home, seeing the boys back home.
Nothing like it.
It's like a reset button, you know? It's refreshing, it clears your mind. And then also on the same side of thing, you know, having a conversation like what we're doing is also refreshing and it feels good too. So it's like it's you know, it's an even balance.
Yeah. Is it like with your friends, because your friends are so involved with lyrical and shit? They were just here. They went on a boat. But is it like tough to mix? Because they say don't mix business with personal and shit. Is that a challenge or is it just smooth because you guys are on the same page?
It is a challenge, and it becomes some weeks it's more of a challenge than others. And, you know, it's crazy because you build the bond with someone as a friend, right? And it's friendship, you know what I mean? So you're not thinking about anything beyond that moment. I mean, you guys work together on stuff, but, like, you guys are friends. You know?
First and foremost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, for all the people that I work with to be my best friends, it's like a blessing and a curse, you know. Mm-hmm. So because it's weird, it's weird to give authority to like your best homies, you know what I mean? And then also like to be a leader, you need to set by example. So like, if I'm, you know, getting drunk with my friends or doing something stupid, who am I to wake up the next morning and be like, yeah, you guys gotta get in shit, like we gotta do all this stuff or whatever it may be. It's like they're gonna look at me like you're crazy.
Monkey
you know
see,
what I mean?
monkey do. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So it's difficult because like you kind of have to be that leader and like mature all the time, and that's something I'm still learning and I'm getting better at. But it's difficult at times. But I also think it works incredibly well at times too, because we get each other. So it's like, you know, someone you work with, you only know them in that environment. So if I'm working with a best friend of mine, then we can communicate in a different way. Like some things don't need to be said to be understood, and that helps business in a lot of ways.
You're on the same wavelength because you already have
you just understand it. You can read someone off bat and make that next move before that person needs to tell you it. You know what I mean? Because we get each other. You see something happening, oh, I understand what's going on. This is what's gonna need to be done in a second. Before I hear that, I'm already on it. So the wavelengths and stuff, I think, like you just said, I think that is a benefit, and you understand each other at a different level. But there are also like awkward, strange moments of trying to find that balance between I'm your boss, quote unquote, and I'm also your best friend. You know, so just trying to find that balance. Yeah,
that's got to be a tough line to walk. Like, do you ever have to like snap on someone or something, and it's just like
all the time,
can't do it or something?
And it's,
all the time,
not all the time snap on people, but all the time, like, you know,
kind of put your foot
sit
down.
someone down and be like, yo, like, we need to tighten this up, or we need to do this or that. And it's just one of those things. And but I feel like we have a unique thing, me and my friends and the people I work with, because they get it. You know what I mean? You know, we all have that common understanding, and we're all working towards one common goal. Mm-hmm. So they understand when they fuck up, and they understand when they need to step up, and so on and so forth. Just kind of one of those things you learn as you go. But there's an interview Bobby Hundreds did. And it's something that I go back to and reference in my head a lot, and talks about when he was ready to take the Hundreds, his clothing brand, from, okay, it's just me and my homies working together, into, okay, this is
a real thing.
A real thing, you know? And he said it was really difficult, and that transition, he had to fire some of his best friends, and it sucked, but he said, you know,
it's necessary.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Not that you should value business over friendship or vice versa, but, you know, at the end of the day, when you and your people come together for that final goal, you guys got to get there however necessary. And if someone's falling behind, you know,
and it's detracting from what everyone else is doing,
and you need to help that person. You need to try your best to get them on track. But if it's not working, man, like,
if they don't want to help themselves, you can only do so much for someone.
That's what it is. If they don't want to help themselves, you can't help them.
Yeah, for sure. That transition you were talking about, what is that like, to go from doing underground videos and stuff, and then going to like the biggest like hip hop songs, pretty much? Like, I always wondered that about you. Like, what's that like?
It's a crazy thing because I never, like, when I was just shooting videos, I mean, I was going to LA or wherever I was going, and
constantly
I was shooting or even Chicago, wherever, I was shooting like 10 videos in like 5 days. Yeah. Like some days I would just like, I'd shoot a video, come home for a little bit, or to my like Airbnb or whatever, and then right back out. And it was just like, that was the style of it, that run and gun style. And we didn't know, I mean, like, what was going to be a hit or what was going to be big or special or not. Like, we were just having fucking fun. We were just throwing shit at the wall, having fun, and it was just like, always working, like, it kept you, like, that momentum just never stopped, you know? And then before you know it, like, I kind of looked back and I was like, oh shit, like, all these, like, quick little things we've been doing, they've been building up and turning into something. And you don't really realize. And you know, before you know it, I remember I got a call from Wiz's manager, and he wanted me to come do the this Wiz and Gucci video, and I remember going out. I had like light budgets before, but it was the first time where like we needed a crew and all this shit. And
full
like,
production.
Yeah, an actual full production, and I didn't know what any of it. Like, bro, this is crazy. Like, I remember getting on set and like not knowing what half of the positions on the crew even meant. You know what I mean? So it was such a learning process for me, but I think what was special about it was that I kind of just got thrown into it and I had to learn it as I went.
Fake it till you make it type thing.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, I was ready for it. You know what I mean? I was ready to do whatever and however, and like what I had done had earned me that position to be there.
You were supposed to be there.
Exactly.
It's not like a fluke that you're there. You earned that spot.
Right. But everyone was looking at me like, yo, you're our leader. Like, what do we do? Exactly. And I'm over there like, shit, like, I got to play the part. But like, I've been working my ass for this moment. So like, you know, I was waiting for this moment, and then I realized I was in that moment when I was in that moment. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't have that proper preparation because it all happened so quick. So when I was there, I was like, okay, it's go time. I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And but anyway, that to speak on that transition, like a lot of the run and gun method and like that style is something I still utilize today in terms of being on set and like structure and like making audibles. Like I feel like one of the biggest things about a Lyrical Lemonade set is like I make an audible every 30 minutes. The video might become something completely different than the treatment would have suggested because that's just how I always did it. You know what I mean? So, and also and sometimes I write my treatments in great detail, and sometimes it's short and sweet. Mm-hmm. But if you're too set on what it needs to be, then it might not be that. And I realized with the whole run and gun and just DIY style is that the greatest shit happens when you're just out there having fun, brainstorming
on accident.
Exactly. Yeah. The best stuff happens on accident. So that's something that I still use a lot with the videos I do. But it's crazy, like the big songs and things you speak on like that. You never really know. You know what I mean? You just gotta trust your gut instinct on what you think is gonna be special and what you connect with, and then sometimes it ends up being the biggest thing, and sometimes it's I've had so many situations because I pick all the songs I shoot, right? So I've had so many situations where I thought something was gonna be huge, and then it wasn't huge at all. Yeah. And I had a lot of times where I was like, oh, this could be cool, but like I don't know if it's gonna be in like a really big record, and then it ends up being whatever, So now I try to just do what I like and not really think about what it's gonna be or the impact it's gonna have. Yeah. Obviously, you do some things you're like, this is gonna be fucking. This crazy. Is gonna be fucking huge. Eminem and
I mean, what are you gonna?
There's some things. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, I'm saying I was so excited about it, but like I knew that was gonna be a crazy. Of course. You know what I mean? But generally, I try to go into it not thinking about how it's gonna be received or view count or any stuff like that. Just try to have fun with it, because sometimes you think too much about those things and it really just drives you down the wrong lane. Yeah. And you're like, is this why I do this? And no, so you just gotta have those realization moments always and keep yourself on track. Yeah,
I feel like I have those constantly for real, and it's just minor adjustments, little by little, which I'm still doing, mostly run and gun shit, but even then, like the audibles and everything, it's just constant, like never ending. Yeah,
and the way to do it is to, like, your run and gun work. Like, I love your stuff with Candy Paint, and then I love all your stuff with Zanman. And then I saw when you did the Zanman Rico Nasty video, like there was more production value to it, but it still had your general same feel. But it was just like, I don't know, when you have a work that identifies itself and like people can look at that and be like, oh, that's Nirvan. You know what I mean? Like that's something special. And not in a way that's like, oh, this looks like all this other stuff, this Nirvan, but no, this is, I can tell that there's a technique and there's a style that like I identify this with Nirvan. So, you're killing it.
Thank you. That's crazy you say that, because that's literally like word for word what I try to do, because that was my first budget that was decent. It wasn't like a full huge budget, but it was like a decent one to where I was able to hire a few people and shit. But I was like, how do I have this huge budget and utilize it fully, but still keep kind of, because I like stuff that's like rough around the edges a little bit. So it's like that balance to draw.
Exactly. Yeah. The biggest thing is when you're coming from where you and I come from in the sense of like a DIY run and gun point and shoot type of style, it's difficult. I know you said you haven't had too many like full on productions just yet, but it's difficult when you get into that lane because like you feel so attached with making stuff rough around the edges, like you say, and then you know when you get a budget or whatever, you know, however you want to call it, they expect it to look like the standard of what everything looks like, and like I hate fucking like a shoot that's just like great lighting and like very simple and like
Holy
the
shit,
stand.
Yeah.
It's like that was, you know, $50,000, however much the label paid for that or whoever paid for it was, but like it looks like everything else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It looks like a Googled rap video.
Exactly, like a how-to video, and it's like the run and gun stuff. I feel like a lot of times is way more powerful than shit like that. So, and it's fucking close to nothing. It costs nothing. You have your camera and you go out there and that's that.
And you already have the camera, so yeah.
And you don't need anything else.
Yeah.
Like I never had any lights or used. I mean, I had my little fucking LED attachment I'd throw on top of my camera, or like have my friend, you know, hit it from a different angle. But like that was it. You know, there was nothing.
Yeah.
And luckily I had my Sony A7S too, so low light wasn't a problem, man. But,
the A7 III. That's what I'm using right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Damn, that's crazy. So you don't really feel pressure to, I mean, because everything is so big right now, with you, do you feel like pressure from, okay, if I do something that this song really speaks to me and shit, but maybe the artist isn't like quite that big or whatever it may be, do you feel like pressure to, no, I'm going to pocket that until later, maybe he builds his shit up more? Like, what is that like? Yeah,
that's an interesting question, because like, you know, every day I'm getting pulled in so many different directions in terms of what I need to shoot next or what's on the docket. And, you know, I try not to overwhelm myself with videos because I want to be happy at the end of the day. And if I'm doing too much, I'm not going to have any time away from work. You know what I mean? And I love work, don't get me wrong, but I want to be able to relax and, like, read a fucking book, work on Lenny stuff, my other projects I work on, and just take a breather. So there's always work coming in from different directions. And, like, for instance, if there is an artist I feel really connected to, but maybe they don't have a big following or whatever it may be, if I really feel connected to it, I'm going for it every time. But I have to know the person. That's the thing. Like, I really need to build a relationship with someone, because I'll shoot a video for free. Like, I'll like pull out my camera, do the run and gun. Like, that's how we did Ransom. You know, we're just having fun. Same thing. That's how we did Slime Dollars. That's how we do, you know, it doesn't always happen as much because, you know, there are all these big projects always, you know, happening. But if I know someone and I really believe in them, it doesn't matter how big they are, who they are. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's, okay, I think this is awesome and I'm going to have fun doing it. Yeah. And that's the best thing. When you have fun on a project, you know, and sometimes when there's less strings attached and, like, you know, that production value and all the extra shit that goes with it, that's when you're having the most fun. You're getting out there, getting dirty, and just, like, bouncing ideas off each other. And in the moment, just natural. Yeah. So whenever I, like, do, like, a quick little run and gun style video like that with someone that, you know, isn't as well known, it's great, because not only are we just having fun out there and not thinking about anything besides just that, but also they're so invested and connected and excited to work too. You know what I mean? Because, like, they have the world to gain and, like, nothing to lose. And like, when you have someone with that mindset, you just, like, you guys rock out, because that's how I think all the time. And a lot of times when you're working with these bigger artists, you know, when are we shooting? Like, what, you know, it's work to them. And I understand that too, but, you know, this is a passion for me at the end of the day. So I love to work with people who view it as a passion of them. And that's what you get when you're working with someone who, you know, is at a super small level, because they haven't experienced anything and they just want to fucking see things, you know. So, and you're giving that to them for the first time. So for you, are you more into film and shit, or is it the music? Like, for me, it's, okay, I started to really love underground music and hip-hop music, period,
And then I was like, what's the best way to involve myself with it? And then videography was that, because I had a videography background.
Right.
So what is that for you?
Yeah, literally, it's the same for me. I fell in love with, rap at a very young age, and then in high school I got super invested in Chicago hip hop. Like, I was listening to the local Chicago scene, and like I didn't know anything else. Like, outside of Chicago, like there was so much going on in Chicago at the time where you didn't need to look anywhere else. Like, everything from the outside the music to inside the music. I mean, it was all there. You had the whole ecosystem. So I fell in love with that, and I was already like playing around with my mom's camera. And I took like this multimedia class in high school, and like I was having fun on iMovie editing and shit, and we do like little skits. Exactly. Yeah, so wow. And then I was like, I told one of my friends, I was like, because we were going to Chicago every weekend, like going to shows, like doing whatever we could, and I was like, yo, like you should make a song, I'll make the music video, and like because we were so invested in it, we like going there every weekend that we knew the ins and outs of like what we wanted to do with it. So we're like, let's try it out. So he'd make song on GarageBand, I'd shoot the video, and that's kind of how it started. And my love is definitely, it's like there's some things I love about film, like, and there's some things I really love about music, but definitely the music is what pulled me into it. Yeah. And then I went to my freshman year of college. I was majoring in digital cinema. And I was taking all the fucking film classes. I was like, yo, this is trash. Like, I learned a couple things, but just the structure of how, like, the film, world is supposed to work and how long you have to build up to be a director and, like, do all this shit. I was looking around the class like, you guys really want to do this shit? Like, I was like, I'm not fucking with this shit at all. So, I switched my major to psychology. Yeah. So what did I switch my major to? Switched my major to communications. Oh, I
was a journalism major.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I wanted to go originally to college for journalism. But yeah, so I switched to communications. I was like, I'd rather just learn about people, you know what I mean? And just use college to, connect with people and learn things and just live my life and grow as a person. But then I was like, it got to the point where I was like, I can't do this shit. So I just dropped out.
Did you have a foot in the door at all? Because I informed my dad of what I want to do, and then he said, get a foot in the door. I did that, and then I left. Did you just leave blindly?
No, I did not. Well, I was doing the Lyrical Lemonade stuff, right? But I was like I made a promise to myself when I got to college. I was going to really prioritize school and like really try to apply myself, because the whole time growing up, like I wasn't that great of a student. Because I didn't really care, you know what I mean? But I was like, I'm going to prove to myself that I can like really do this shit, get a 4.0, do all that shit. Yeah, so I really applied myself to school, got great grades that first year, and like Lyrical Lemonade was something I did when I was done with work, but like it was school and Lyrical Lemonade, that was it. But Lyrical Lemonade is still like this passion, but now I'm living in Chicago. So like I'm shooting music videos in my dorm room. I had this little green screen I set up. I was doing like stuff all around my dorm building, around campus, whatever I could do. And I was making a couple $100 a video here and there for the people that were willing to pay. And then sophomore year, things started to pick up a little more. I was throwing shows in Chicago, and just there was more traction. And then I threw this Lil Uzi Vert show. Yeah,
you cite this one often as like a moment that things became real.
The Uzi show definitely was a moment, because I was throwing shows. Like I would throw shows like every few months, you know what I mean? And like with those Chicago artists, and I was like, damn, I want to bring someone outside Chicago, like really bring someone into the city, and like I don't know, but someone who also like isn't that big, but like kind of known. This is a time when like Uzi, like people didn't really know Uzi. Like I literally booked Uzi for $8,000, which like thinking back at like if you know anything about booking prices, like Uzi, I don't even know what he goes for now, but like probably like
six figures.
$300,000 for a show. Like he's like,
wow, you think so?
Oh yeah,
holy shit.
200, 250 for sure. Wow. For sure.
How about New Year's Eve? What do you
for like festivals and stuff, you for sure would get that.
Wow.
But so that's, and keep in mind the $8,000 I have to pay I had to pay a 50% deposit of that, and then you know what I mean, and I'd been saving up, and I had to pay half of that actually for like to lock it in. Mm-hmm. So I paid like $2,000 to confirm it, and we announced it, and the rest was history. That's the first time ever like seeing like something come together so beautifully and bringing out the whole city, like making a little bit of money, understanding things at a new level. Because I had to learn so much, because that was nothing like throwing the smaller shows I was throwing before. Mm-hmm. And at that moment, and like the videos and stuff were going well, me and Dex were working consistently at that time. Okay. So like, yeah, actually had Dex came out for the show too.
I remember the show recap video or something, and they're on stage together.
Yeah. I remember Dex missed his whole set, and he literally missed his whole set, and he got there midway during Uzi's performance, and I remember just asking Uzi's DJ, I was like, look, like, can you guys let Dex at least just play one song? And he went out there, he performed Drip From My Walk, and that was Uzi and Dex's first time ever meeting, was on stage when Dex walked out there. And Uzi was mad at first because he cut off his music, started playing Dex, like, what's going on? And then Dex walks out, and they start having fun. But if you go back and watch that video, their energy and chemistry is beautiful. But
and that was their first time?
That was the first time ever meeting, was on that stage. Wow. But, yeah, so just like, that was a big turning point. You know, that's right around time working with Dex a lot. I'm seeing things and exposure that I had never seen before, and at that point I was like, yo, like, I gotta like go full in on it at this point, because sophomore year, I'm in sophomore year now, beginning of my sophomore year. Yeah. And like my grades are falling, like I'm literally staying up, like, bro, my eyes were fucking bloodshot every day, like I wasn't sleeping, like I was like, I remember walking into class and like everyone just looking at me like I was a piece of shit, because like I would just like miss all my class. I'd come in, I'd sleep the whole day. I'd always find a student like that I could like meet with, that he would like help me out with homework and stuff, and
tutor a little bit.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I actually had someone reach out to her. I saw like a comment like a year ago, and it was like, you know, I always used to think Cole Bennett was just like a lazy student. Yeah, he'd miss class all the time, show up late, sleep all day in class. He's like, but now I understand. He's like, now I respect it. So
holy shit, that's gotta feel good, right?
Yeah, there. No, that was a good thing. It felt really good, because I remember feeling just like shit. You know what I mean? I was in class, like I dedicated myself so much the year before, and now I felt like I was just going through the motions. Mm-hmm. And
not even just to say this, but literally, like you just described, like the beginning of my sophomore year, because that's like halfway through is when I got my foot in the door a little bit and left. But before that, I was skipping classes and shit to work on this one video for wintertime. Yeah.
Oh, for which video?
All the time too. It's like the little animated like Mario type.
Facts.
Yeah. I skipped class for like a month to work on that.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's what it's about. And you're probably so excited too, so like, dude, you didn't even fucking think about it.
It was the most pure, like passionate, like period of time of my life. Like it came to a point to where some of my friends, because it was like GW where I went to school, was like people were clubbing all the time and shit. Mm-hmm. And my friends, I was like living in a frat house doing this, you know? And they were like coming and like they thought like something was wrong with me. They were like, why don't you come out with us? Like literally like an intervention type shit. And I was like, no, bro, you gotta look at it, like this is crazy. And they would look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you know? But I was like, I saw some shit.
Bro, it's crazy that you say that, because I remember, so when I was working with Dex, like Dex was the type, like we shoot the video, I want it out the next day. That's how he was. Mm-hmm. He's like, we're gonna shoot this video. I literally want it to drop in the tomorrow.
How do you do that?
It was just going home and just fucking diving into it. But I was missing a lot of class because of that. And what you just said about like the clubs and shit. I remember I was living with a couple of my friends, and it's my sophomore year. We had like this little apartment off campus, and I remember they were begging me to go out to this party this one night, and like I never went out to parties. I was like, why? What about tonight makes you really want me to go? You know? And I was like, I gotta work on this video. Like, all right, fuck it. They left, and I worked up all night on the famous Dex DMC video. And I remember looking at that video, like leaning back in my chair, like, yo, like this is the craziest fucking shit. Like,
that's the black and white one?
Yeah. I was like, I just did this shit. I like literally couldn't believe it. I was so happy with myself at this time. And they got back from the party. I was like, yo, like, fuck you guys. You guys got to look at this shit.
Yeah.
And we were all just jumping around and stuff. Luckily, I had that support system.
Okay, they liked it. They were
They were cool. They understood everything, but like they're like, he's just in his room all day.
Yeah,
but
my friends were not really on the same
Yeah.
page at all. Yeah, because it was like this school is like not Ivy League, but like up there type shit, and
Okay.
everyone's like a political science, like international affairs or some shit. They want to like work in Washington, like, you know what I'm saying, on Capitol Hill and shit. And then I'm like, I like underground rap. Like, have you guys listened to like Lil Pump? And they're like, what the fuck, you fucking idiot, you know, like shit, dude.
Nah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Well, it's a beautiful thing when it comes full circle, man.
yeah. But I almost have to, like, I don't know if you ever get in this mindset, but you want to separate those two. Like, I understand where they're coming from, because it's like I did a whole 180, you know,
Right.
because I went so willing and able to be a journalist, and then like I just found some other shit.
Right.
So is it like hard ever to avoid the mindset of like, oh, I'm gonna shit on you guys, like, yeah, I'm gonna prove you guys wrong or whatever?
It's one of those things where like I feel like stuff like that, it's just like I definitely had the mindset of like, I'm gonna prove all you guys wrong. Mm-hmm. I would never speak that out vocally, but I'd be lying if I said people like doubting me or not understanding what I was doing didn't motivate me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that was the biggest part, one of the biggest things of my drive, because I was from I'm from a really small, like, middle of nowhere cornfield town, like, and like I had my group of friends, and like we were all into rap and everything, and like we'd go to the city all the time, and like we were all into the same stuff, so they supported me. But like I remember the rest of the school, and just like everyone was just like, what are you doing? Like, you know, like what is this? You know, and
it's hard to ignore that.
Yeah, it is, and it's like, and sometimes you give into it, and that's the way of life. Or you think to yourself, you're like, damn, like, am I doing something wrong? Like, am I wrong for?
I still think that.
So that's a battle. That's gonna forever be a battle. But you're gonna hit that point where you're like, no, like, I'm doing something right. Like, I'm doing what I'm passionate about, because it's difficult when you're in a time like college or even, you know, high school. It's difficult to tell if someone's actually happy with what they're doing. So say someone had a major of fucking biology, or they want to be a lawyer, they're going to law school. Mm-hmm. You're seeing them have fun all the time. They're going to parties, they're doing all this stuff. So you're like, oh, they're happy. But are they happy when they go to law school and they do all this shit? Yeah. Maybe if that's what they're truly passionate about, but they just kind of told themselves, this is what I want to do. Yeah. This is what maybe my dad did or my uncle did, or some people do have genuine interest in it. Yeah. But I think there's a lot of people who also kind of just go through the walks of things just because, like, oh, this is something that's going to pay me good money, and you know, this is a regular job, and like I can prove to myself I'm smart enough to do this, or whatever it may be. So a lot of the people that we let get in our heads in that way sometimes really aren't happy themselves. So you just really got to try to block that out. And sometimes it's difficult, and sometimes it gets to you, you know. Mm-hmm. Especially with the rap stuff, because a lot of people don't take that serious, you know. But just like myself, you completely understand, you know, that this is gonna evolve. I mean, it's already evolved over the past.
It's changing
years,
so much, yeah.
But this is a whole new source of entertainment, and it's revolutionary, I think. So I think hip hop music is a beautiful thing, and I think it's changing the world. Yeah, and I think it will continue to do so. And I think that it's literally hip hop as a genre is literally going to be bigger than music itself. It's like its own source of entertainment. It's like, don't even list it as a genre. It's like, no, there's like music, and then there's fucking hip hop.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
That's kind of how
it's getting so good.
Yeah,
people are getting so good.
Yeah, and there's so many different things within rap. Like you have your JIDs, and you have your ski mask, and then you have your, you know, it goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The DMV, everything they're doing.
Yeah. Then it goes, region to region. You know, New York, and then
those
are
the
Bay
different
area.
genres. Those are different genres.
Exactly. There's so many different genres within hip hop. You can dive into region. You can dive into sound. You can dive into melody. You can dive into subject matter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just like it's overflowing with different. And if you were to talk about rock or something, not to bash rock, I actually know nothing about rock, to be honest with you.
Pink Floyd I fuck with.
But I don't know if you could break it down as deeply as you can break down rap. I understand there's metal and there's, you know, punk and there's alternative, but I don't know. I think hip hop is just, it has so much more to offer. Because even within hip hop, just the three things I've listed, metal, alternative, punk, you have punk rap, alternative rap, and metal rap. Like, there's all these things.
And even those names aren't enough because every song is a different genre.
Exactly. So it's like, there's no way to describe it, but if you know, you just know.
Yeah. And me and Ron were talking about yesterday, actually, like, because the barrier to entry is so low for making rap music, I feel like that just makes more and more, like, of these kids who try it and then, holy shit, they're, like, so fucking good at it.
Exactly. And, like...
And people like to bash on that for whatever reason, like, oh, SoundCloud, whatever. But, like, dude, like, they're good.
Yeah,
they're
exactly. And hopefully, you know, I don't know. Hopefully one day we can get to a point where people just can let go of that, you know, hatred towards someone getting into something or, like, trying something or, like, I don't know. I feel like people get mad because they think going out and making a song or whatever is easy, and it is easy, you know what I mean, to go out there and make a song, but that's what makes it beautiful. And not every song that people make is good.
To make a good song, that's a different story.
Yeah, to make a good song is a different story.
I've tried. It's fucking hard.
And then all the people that make music, like, it takes a long time to, like, master your craft and get good at it. It's comparable to anything else, you know what I mean? And you can't bash on something like that. You gotta appreciate it. There's so much about rap music that you have to appreciate before you can bash it. There's too much.
Yeah. And now, because of you, I think, you can tell me what you think, another like subgenre of hip hop is videos at this point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we're reaching an age where videos and I think they once did, you know, think about the MTV era. Yeah. You know, in the early 90s when rap is really coming to the surface for the first time, and, you know, just music videos in general, and from pop to everything, it meant so much because that was really like the start of music videos in a lot of ways. Of course, music videos were being made before that, but there was a place you can go. There was a place that identified themselves as a hub for music videos, MTV, right? So it's always had this, you know, this up and down, I feel like. And
you feel like there was a dip in quality for a while?
There was a dip.
When do you think that was?
I think like the 2010s era, and I know a lot of people would probably argue this because you could pull 100 incredible videos in that era, but I think that we reached a time, maybe not early 2000s, I don't know. Yeah. 2010s, that early 2010s period, I think we just got to that point where there was a need for a change. I mean, it was before SoundCloud happened. It was like, you know, social media was around, but yet everything was still like that major production, but like there was nothing to cater to like that other audience. There wasn't as many DIY music videos at least it was like the very beginning of it. Yeah. Where fast forward now, any kid with a camera can make a music video in his backyard. Yep. And it could be the next biggest thing. You know what I mean? It could be a Billboard Top 100 hit. And it was made with $0. You know what I mean? I think that's the beautiful thing about right now is that there's no right way to make a music video. Mm-hmm.
Good point.
And I think that that's what's making right now a really, really special moment. The past couple of years, but like right now, in particular, because, you know, anyone could get out there and try it, and anything can work, and there's no right rules. And there's a lot of people, you know, directors or people who've just been in the game for a while who hate that. They do not want to see this be a thing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because they want it to fall into the structure in which it's always been, and people hate change. You know what I mean? So when someone's been doing this for forever, and this is their job and their source of revenue, and then they see all these kids coming here making music videos on DSLRs, and they're going fucking crazy.
And they're more interesting to watch.
Yeah, they're more interesting. Yeah. They're better. You know what I mean? In a lot of ways.
It's more fun.
Yeah. And I think people were mad at that for a while, but I think we're finally getting to a point where it's like, hopefully, everyone's kind of understanding that there is no right way to make it. Everyone could do it their own way, and let's just accept that. I think that it should be just a no-judge zone. Like, everyone just makes shit, man. Let's just have fun. It's easier said than done, but...
For sure. Do you register? I'm sure you do, but do you, like, fully accept that you are probably, like, a majority of the reason why that's a thing, that like that all these kids like that crazy edits and like backyard videos, like you were saying, or like the new norm?
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. I
guess
guess
everyone knows it. You know?
I guess I haven't really thought about it like that, but like I said, man, I guess you don't really realize, impact that you've made until you realize it. It's just kind of one of those things you can't really think about it too much, or like that can't be your mission. It's just something I never thought about. Like I said, I was literally, bro, I was out there having fun. I was shooting videos, I was doing what I loved, and everything beyond that I wasn't really thinking about. Sure, I knew things were, picking up, and I knew things were getting pretty serious, but I never realized what it was actually becoming, and that I was, able to provide an opportunity for a lot of kids to come up in the same way. It's a beautiful thing, and like I couldn't be any more thankful, because it, like when I was in that classroom in college and I was looking around, I was like, you guys, like this is what you guys want to do, you know what I mean? And like literally like walking out, it feels great to know that I left that classroom and with the mindset of you can do this without all those tools, without those classes, without working your way up, the standard film way. And it feels good to know that that I took a route that shows that you don't have to do that. And hopefully it's helped other people, and it's opened the door, and it's made people realize like, I can do this shit too. Yeah.
And it's full, unadulterated you. You didn't give up any part of what you would have had to do to be a PA and this and that and be someone's bitch for a couple of years or whatever it may have been.
Right. Yeah. No. It was doing it on my own, and then before you knew it, I was right there, and then just having to learn it pretty much all over again.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I do this sometimes where like I will watch some of my videos from like my first few months or first year even. I was bad for a long time when I started. And then I'll have like this crazy, like, I don't know, like cringe feeling sort of, like, I made that, like, what the fuck? Do you ever have that, or you pretty much stand by everything you made?
All the time. That's part of being that's part of being a creative and an artist, man. Like, a lot of people would say, no, like, I made that in time and it was great, but a lot of stuff that I look back at and be like, damn, this isn't that good. I thought back then when I was making it, damn, this isn't that good.
Shit,
you know what I mean? Like, but I accepted it for that, and like I was like, yo, like we shot this in fucking 26 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? What did I expect in a fucking basement? What did I expect? Yeah. And there's a lot of stuff that I thought was incredible then, and I watched back now and I was like, damn, like, this is pretty bad. But at the same time, in that moment, like, to me, it was fucking incredible, and like, I accept it for that, and I appreciate it for that. It's just it's one of those things where it's like, if, for instance, if I were to go back and watch the Ski Mask Catch Me Outside video, there's a lot of reasons where I could say right now that it's awesome and it's fun because it pulls out that energy, and it's like it's in Times Square, and it's the colors, and it engages you. There's a lot of things I could look at where I was like, this doesn't look that good. It's a pretty bad video. I could see both sides of it, but I appreciate it all. I mean, it's something that I've spent hours on, you know what I mean? Like, I look at this video and I could say, oh, this isn't that good, but like, I can't discredit myself. I put in fucking...
It still came from you.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time on it, and I loved it, and I still do love it. But as you grow as a creative, as an artist, you learn to... You learn to just, have a better understanding of who you are, the direction you want to go in, and the type of things you want to make. So, you just gotta look back at it as like, you know what, that was a great, checkpoint, milestone, piece of the journey. Just appreciate it for that, because without those things, I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people to this day would say Catch Me Outside is their favorite music video.
It was a moment.
Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of that old Run and Gun stuff is still a lot of people's favorite stuff, and I actually see a lot of people still that are like, Cole Bennett's videos like aren't the same as 2017. Like, I wish I missed those. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. You can never satisfy everyone. You know what I mean? It's just what it is, and I actually really enjoy seeing stuff like that too, because it's like, You know, it was such a moment, you know what I mean? And I was working my ass off, you know what I mean? Like, I still am. I've never stopped, but like, I was working my ass off. Like, thank you for appreciating that and being able to look at that running gun and tell me it's better than this full production. Like, I appreciate that, you know?
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
It's a compliment. So.
Yeah. Do you ever, I feel like there was like a few video span where things for you went from effects heavy and more run and gun type shit to where I think one of the first ones I'd say was like the Nowadays video to where theme really became the main driving factor of it. Yeah. And I did see, because like on your gram and shit, like, you know, like it's less effects and like more, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like you went away from that. What was like that choice? Was it like a purposeful thing?
Yeah, like, you know, a lot of the times I was shooting with no real, like, I was shooting wherever. It's like, oh, you want to shoot this at the gas station? Let's go. You want to shoot this at the baseball diamond? Let's go. You want to shoot this in your backyard? Let's go. And it kind of just got to this point where I was like, you know, if you just put in a little time into creating a theme or having a general idea and also maybe tying that into a little bit of post-production, like, you know, I'm going to shoot it at this baseball diamond, but I'm going to have floating baseball, you know what I mean, or whatever you want to do, but like kind of seeing past just the actual video production itself. But yeah, man, I didn't want to, because a lot of times I felt like I was directing in the editing process. It's like we shoot it, it's this blank canvas, and I'm like trying to pull shit together, which is a very fun thing, and you actually come up with a lot of your best work that way. Yeah. But doing that blank canvas route, like just, I'm gonna figure it out when I get to the editing process, became very draining for me creatively, you know?
I feel like that you're describing like kind of a creative thing that I'm going through right now.
If you just, you know what my most beautiful editing sessions are when I really lay out a video piece by piece, and it's not just a performance-based video where we shoot the song 10 times in 10 different locations or from 10 different angles. I notice that I have the most enjoyment and I get the most fulfillment creatively when I, you know, segment the video. For instance, like What's Poppin', you know what I mean? We had that one master performance, you know, outside in front of the diner, and then the rest of the video played along with the lyrics segmented throughout the video. And the editing process, it's like butter, and like, you know, it's just, you're just cutting through it. You plan for this to be here, and you pictured what this would be like, and now it's like it's falling right into place beautifully. And it's like just that little bit of pre-planning before a video and just creating a theme, a concept, an idea in a subtle way can go a long way. It'll give you a better video in a lot of ways, and it's something you can watch the whole time, because like you should never want to shoot a bad song, but you should think of it as, okay, if I'm shooting a bad song, which I'm just speaking hypothetically, if you're shooting a bad song, you should want to make it something that people are going to watch all the way through. If you just do a performance-based video, right, this whole time, people are going to turn it off in the first 15 seconds because, I just saw all the shots already in the first 15 seconds. I hate this song. I don't give a fuck about this. But if you're doing something that's kind of engaging, changing, then you're like, oh, like, I don't really like this song, but like I'm going to watch this video.
See where it goes.
You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Just trying to really engage them from a visual standpoint. Because like if Catch Me Outside, for instance, was a really bad song, it wouldn't be appreciated as a really good video. Right. You know what I mean? It would just been a video that we did in Times Square, and like it looked cool, but like you have to identify that song and like add it visually, like apply the same pressure from a visual standpoint to create a product that like people can really, really enjoy. And I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. That the editing process that you're talking about, like that sounds like one of those ones where maybe you get the first 15 seconds done, and then you watch it from there to see the flow of how it should cut into the next part. And you're like so geeked over what you have right there.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah. That I feel like I've only had a few of those because you just put it into words for me. Like I feel like that just made a difference because a lot of times I feel like I'm trying to okay, like maybe I'll get a space or something. I'll book a studio of some sort that has like a theme and shit. But even when I have little things of like I have this video that's coming out in a while where like the guy's like painting and shit, and he's like swinging on this swing set, and even like little shit like that where he's doing something, but you have like 5 of these different things that he's doing. Then, because a lot of videos, it's like, okay, there's like 5 main scenes or whatever, and we're cutting back through that. But like you said, within the first like 20 seconds, I've seen the whole video. Right. What else is my motivation to do?
Exactly. But then sometimes, like, in defense of that performance-based approach, you know, if you do it the right way, you know, and you pick appealing shots in an appealing settings, and you know, dice in B-roll throughout that is new, and just like create a theme and something that feels cohesive, like you can really entertain the whole time. So it's like they just have to be really cool themed shots. You know what I mean? There has to be somewhat of a driving factor there. So there's like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do it. I just have noticed that I have more fun when I segment out a video, because it just allows more of a storyline. It's fresh on the eyes. You know, you could be a minute and a half into the video and you're seeing something for the first time.
Yeah, exactly. It's dynamic. Yeah. Do you feel like because when you made that transition into the style that you're talking about, there's obviously going to be more of those transitions. Like, you're never going to stop like changing the way you do it.
Right.
Do you find that that's like on a video by video basis, or you kind of go like, okay, like this month or whatever period of time it may be, like this is what I'm feeling, this is what I kind of want to do, so this cluster of videos is going to be this way, and then move to the next one?
No, it's never planned that way, but a lot of times it happens that way. Yeah. Whatever mindset I'm in when I'm writing, you know, a treatment, if I write them all in that same week, they're typically going to be somewhat in that same type of feel. And sometimes not. I mean, every video I kind of try to have as its own element and moment. But like, for instance, like the Annalie Chapa video, the Shot of Flow 5, and the Polo G video. I shot those back-to-back days. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they were both, you know, the Polo G was a one take and it has its own storyline, and the Shot of Flow 5 very much has its own flow and its own storyline. Yeah. It was both those, you know, segmented approach, and that's something I just want to do more of. I think it, you know, but sometime that same week I also shot this song for Leroy called "Tell Me Why," and that's gonna come out in, I don't know, in a couple weeks or something, but that's just a performance-based video. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's different every time. But I feel like the shots in that video are very, very engaging. You know what I mean? So like, and it has a deeper meaning. The song substance is very deep, and like I try to metaphorically tie in elements like that. You know, walls closing in on him. I had like a warehouse feel, and then I had like a beautiful scenic home feel, and it was kind of the you know, the play on the good and the bad in life, and it all being beautiful in its own way. It's like people would never think that it's that deep, or it just looks like a cool looking performance video. But when you do that, just for yourself to have those meanings, you know, you're gonna feel more attached to it creatively. Yeah.
For you, what? And you can tell me to stop asking questions whenever you want, because we're at like an hour.
However long you usually do it, I'm up for whatever.
Yeah, because I have questions for days. But like for me, what makes me like decide how I think a video should look a lot of the time is the beat. A lot of the time, because I think maybe it's because I played piano for like 10 years of my life or something, so I'm like musically driven. Like the beat, and then just like the emotional reaction that a song gives me while I listen to it, trying to put that into images. Mm-hmm. So for you, is it more like looking at the lyrics and like trying to describe that, or like what is it that makes you decide this is what the image should look like, even if it's like the color scheme of the video?
Right. It's different with every song. You're gonna have your songs that are very visual, just in the lyrics. Yeah. So like that's what What's Poppin' was, you know? It was
sure.
very visual. The song is visual. I mean, the whole thing, you know it word by word after listening to it for 5 times, and like you're picturing these things, right? Same with Godzilla, same type of thing. The imagery there in the song is so powerful, so you want to pull it out. Mm-hmm. And then a song like, and I'm talking about all its projects in the last couple months, just because it's fresh on my mind. Then a song like Blueberry Faygo with Mosey, there's not as much imagery in the actual song. Mm-hmm. So that's when, but it feels like summer. It feels happy. So we're gonna, you know, you bring the mood, and I feel like mood is often conveyed by colors. So like the color theme was very, very important within Blueberry Faygo. You know, the blues and the reds, and tying those in from 2 different scenes and locations. So if you have it as a common theme throughout, the color, I mean, the colors within a video can be really, really huge. Still, to this day, one of my favorite color schemes within a video was the Polari Lark Kelly video, because we shot at my in my hometown, actually, an hour away from Plano, but it was the green grass. It was summer. He had that yellow North Face Supreme,
and then the green screen yellow.
Yeah, exactly. And then he had it had red on it too, and then we had the flowers and everything, and
the pool, the crystal pool.
The pool was that bright blue. I just loved it. You know what I mean? And it was my favorite video for a long time, and it was solely because of those colors, and those really I feel like speak to the viewer if you do it right. You know? Yeah. So yeah.
It's like almost telling them, okay, this is what this song is making you feel. Now here's a way to see that.
Right, and people really underestimate how much colors really do to your eye and how they make you feel.
It's psychological.
It truly is psychological. If you see yellow, I mean, and a light blue and those things, you're gonna think happiness, or at least you're gonna understand that that's what that is associated a lot with. You know what I mean? If you think of dark colors, you know, dark reds and blacks and grays and colors like that, it's a darker, gloomier feel. But sometimes it may mean the complete opposite to people. It depends. But psychologically, I mean, that's why fucking, you know, the McDonald's uses red and yellow, because those trigger,
makes you hungry.
You know, hunger and appetite. So it's like it's everything psychological. And colors really trigger us in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. And in the first episode of this podcast, I talked about how, and I think this is true for a lot of people, but Speed Racer, that video was like a big, holy fucking shit, you can do this, that's crazy. When you made that, were you mind blown by what you just did?
Oh yeah, I was super, super, super excited. Yeah. I remember where I was.
Where were you?
I was at my desk in my apartment right at the beginning of my sophomore year, same time period. This is a few months before that Uzi show. This is all in that same time that I was speaking on earlier. Yeah. And I remember because I imagined what it was going to look like. You know, I shot all the plates, and I had the idea of what it was going to be.
Going into the eye.
Yeah, and then when I was editing it and it looked like how I envisioned it, I was like, man, this is it. You know what I mean? Those are the best videos, when you really feel like you hit a new level and you're fucking jumping around your room. You're looking back at the computer, playing it back and forth. What I do is, when I'm done with a video, I'll bounce it out to my phone. I'll airdrop it to my phone, compress file to my phone. After watching it 15 times on the computer, then I'll lay in bed and just watch it back and back.
Me too.
And Speed Racer was definitely one of those moments.
Yeah. And I almost, I think it detracts from my editing process, but once I have 20 solid seconds of wow, I think that's hard, I keep watching it over and over and over, and it makes it take so much longer. Yeah. I gotta stop doing that. Do you ever do that?
All the time. Yeah. You get really excited with a certain portion. But I love intros on videos. I feel like that's what lures people in.
Important.
It's the first step of the journey.
First thing you do, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I edit chronologically all the way through. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? I don't do that.
You just...
I do the intro first, always intro first, and then I'm at a minute 30. I'm at 55 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, I go right down the line.
I feel like that's a better way to do it, probably.
Everyone does it different ways. I remember Nick Jandora, I was at his house, or he was at the office or something. I think he's in Chicago maybe, actually. So he was at the office, and he was showing me a video, and it was the beginning, and then it was like halfway through the video and it was like the end. I was like so confused if that's how he edited, but like it's actually a really common thing. People do it. But yeah, I like to lay a bass edit all the way through. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I used to like add effects and do everything right away, but now, or for the past couple of years, what I do, I just lay a bass edit all the way through and then attack the next layer.
Yeah. That probably saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
I do the whole, like, from color correction to everything. It has to, the first 2 seconds has to be finalized before I move on to second three.
You gotta knock out the beginning.
I'm too OCD for it.
You gotta knock out the beginning. And it's just like, a lot of times you want to, but after that, I understand going to a minute 30, whatever, because you're excited about that part. You saw a take or something.
Or something in the song was like, oh yeah, I know what I want to do for that, so let me go to that quick. I fear that I'll forget what I want to do.
Yeah, do you ever shoot a video and you're looking at the camera like, yo, like, that was a great part, and then like get worried that you're gonna forget that was a great moment within the video?
You never forget though.
You never end up forgetting, but like you kind of like, you're like, damn, I can't forget this, and then it comes to you while you're editing.
Damn, that's crazy. Well, shit. I think part one of the interview, we're good. Anything else you want to add for the people?
Nah, dude, I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, man, thank you so much.
It's an honor. I'm excited for you to just keep going crazy, and I'm looking forward to everything.
Fuck yeah.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Thanks, man. And thanks for watching the DotComNirvan show, and we'll see you on the next one.
The DotComNirvan show. Peace. Cool, man.
Fuck yeah, dude.